I'm a bit sick. I think the 7-day week of work took a toll on my body. So we found my limit. Let's not do that again if possible. I'm taking it easy today, but I still wanted to make something. So I thought it would be a good chance to redo my bookshelves. I've gotten some new acquisitions from various sales and Lifeline Book Fest and the sale at the charity bookshop, and I've gotten like a small chunk to add. So I'm going to take the opportunity to sort through all of the books that I have already, my TBR books, which are the ones that are turned down, so that I have a visual reminder of how many books I'm yet to read. And if it annoys me, that's the point, because it's motivating to read more. So I'm gonna take everything off, I'm gonna dust these bad boys, and then I'm going to sort through them and put them back, and I'll tell you what I'm getting rid of at the end. But the rest of this video is gonna be me just working and not talking, because my nose hates me. Alright, let's do this. I think I'm just going to do this shelf by shelf, otherwise it's going to be really overwhelming. It might not be the most aesthetic way to do it, but it is the most functional way. We have a chunk of books that I have completed, including Little Women, Hag Seed, which is one of my favourite uni books by Margaret Atwood, and The Handmaid's Tale, a bunch of Jane Austen's, Charlotte and Emily Bronte, Kindred by Octavia Butler, another university book, so good, Parable of the Sower, also by Octavia Butler, and If on a Winter's Night, A Traveller by Italo Calvino, which I picked up because it was on a course reading list and I was curious. I actually really enjoyed this one. This is some more Margaret Atwood. It's the Oryx and Crake trilogy. I haven't gotten around to reading it yet, but I found all three of these, the complete trilogy, secondhand, which I'm stoked with. I read Bunny this year. I haven't stopped thinking about it since. Chai Time at Cinnamon Gardens, which was the Miles Franklin Award winner a couple of years ago. Fun Home by Alison Bechdel. Yes, that Bechdel test. And Waiting for Godot. Both of those are university texts. We have Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker, which was bought for me by a friend as a gift, and shortlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction. March by Geraldine Brooks, which is a different perspective on Little Women, and it was the winner of the Pulitzer Prize in 2006. One of my more recent acquisitions is The Vor, which promises to be, as Alan Moore says, easily the current century's first landmark work of fantasy. And it promises to have a bunch of like biblical mythology inspiration in there, so I'm very interested to see what happens with that. Come here. I'm deliberating over Burnham Wood by Eleanor Catton. She received the Booker Prize several years ago, and it's kind of like an environmentalist story about a activist collective who pairs up with an American billionaire, and there's this question of like, can they trust him in their little project? I'm gonna hold on to it for now. New Boy by Tracy Chevalier, which is a retelling Othello by William Shakespeare, part of the Hogarth Shakespeare Project, which is popular novelists taking plays from Shakespeare and turning them into their own novels with like an interpretation of the work. Perks of Being a Wallflower. Haven't read it. Saw the movie in high school. It was devastating. I've got the beginning of The Mortal Instruments, books 1 and 2. I read book 1 because it was one of the course books for my writing and editing and publishing course. And I surprisingly enjoyed it. So I want to give book 2 a go, just see how it goes. This is Foreign Soil by Maxine Benedict Clark, Susie. And I first encountered her work through university when I was doing my creative nonfiction course, and I really liked her work. Haven't read it. I've got The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho and Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. And finally, we have The Last Thing He Told Me by Lauren Dave. Had a TV adaptation through Reese's book club production studio, and they've never really steered me wrong. So I'm gonna pick it up when the opportunity presents itself. I've got the complete Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I'm wondering if now I have enough room on my shelf to put it in with the A section.
Take it nice and slow, try to let it go.
Now for shelf 2.
You know tomorrow isn't just.
We've got Boy Swallows Universe, which any good Australian should have read by now. And All Our Shimmering Skies, both by Trent Dalton. I haven't read Shimmering Skies yet. It's historical Australian fantasy, not fantasy, historical Australian fiction, which you don't get much. I want to say you don't get much of, but maybe you do, and it's just not very popular. I read Charles Dickens' Great Expectations for uni, and I've got A Christmas Carol, which I have not read yet. Gone Girl, university book, played me like a fiddle, wasn't mad about it at the end. And then The Grown Up, which is a short story, also by Gillian Flynn. Casino Royale, James Bond. Apparently it's very outdated and sexist, but you know, I just want to know. And then we also have The African Queen and Mr. Midshipman Hornblower, which you can blame Hamish for. The Women's Room, studied it for university. Part of me wants to get rid of this because it was kind of painful to read, but at the same time, it's such a cool, funky little old novel, and it's just one of those books that are aesthetically pleasing to hold and read, and I just want the memory of reading it, even if it was a painful book to read. The Once and Future Witches and 10,000 Doors of January, both by Alex E. Harrow. No. Robot. There we go. Got The Neuromancer by William Gibson. I've been meaning to read this one for years, haven't gotten around to it, but I think it's important to eventually because it is really a landmark piece of science fiction writing. I have Ocean at the End of the Lane, I have American Gods, and I have Stardust by Neil Gaiman. I know he's been cancelled recently, don't come for me. I have Chocolat and Holy Fools by Joanne Harris. Chocolat was that movie that got starred Johnny Depp, amongst others, sometime in the early 2000s. And I was surprised how much I genuinely enjoyed this book, so I picked up a second one to see if Miss Harris can continue her streak. And then of course we have The Conditions of Will, followed by Magnolia Parks and Daisy Hates. I don't normally buy the second book without having first read the first book, but the covers, man, they're so good. We have a small space issue, but I think out of all of them, if I were to get rid of one, it would be American Gods, because it's chunky and I don't really feel like I'm going to be compelled to pick it up again. And then we have this stack, which includes Terra Nullius, which is amazing indigenous science fiction. If you haven't read it, highly recommend it. The Hunger Games, including Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I'm waiting for them to release the B print of Sunrise on the Reaping, But if they don't release a copy that matches with the rest of these covers, I'm gonna lose my mind. Red Tent historical fiction, basically fan fiction about Joseph of the Bible, Joseph in the rainbow dream coat, his sister, who gets like one sentence in the Bible, so it kind of expands on her story. And my favorite John Green novels that I will never let go of. You'll see I like to do this staggered effect with the book stacks, and the stacks are dedicated to books and series that I have completed. So that includes The Love Hypothesis, don't judge me, Titters by Anita Heiss, Dune, I'm not reading the rest of the series, it's ridiculously long. Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. I tried to let go of this one, I couldn't. It Ends With Us. To be clear, I hold on to this one more for the cultural moment that it represents than the actual story. Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. I only found this because it was on a course list and pretty thought-provoking. And then the Illuminae files, which, you know, I will defend till the day I die. It's so good. And if you need something that is really quick to breeze through because it's a mix of like written and graphic styles, check it out. Science fiction, it's space, and it's AI gone insane. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Of course, I have the OG Emily Henry. Would I even be vlogging about books on YouTube if I hadn't read any Emily Henry? I have Book Lovers and Beach Read. I have yet to read You and Me on Vacation. I picked up the Kiss Quotient only recently for like $2, but like I'm not convinced that I'm gonna make time for it, so I'm just gonna pop it in the donation pile. I've got The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman of Practical Magic. I have The Greatest Hit by Will Kostakis, which is a tiny little thing, but he was a collaborator on the Love Oz YA project, and while I was doing my teaching pracs, he happened to be visiting the school that I was at and did a little author talk, and he was so kind to gift me a signed copy. The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. 100% gonna make time for this. Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. I mean, it's not the best poetry probably, but it really does just bring me back to my early reading days. Do I want to hang on to Burial Rites? It was fine. And it's also a book that's being taught in schools now. And Hannah Kent also has like other amazing works, so I've been told, so I can hang on to her for now. I've got a title I don't want to say on the internet, as well as Aliens and Anorexia by Chris Kraus. This one was a university text for my gender and textuality course, and it was very, very interesting. So I found this at a charity shop and I was like, why not? The Puppy War, judging based on the writing of Babel. Can't wait to get into this. I gotta make sure that I've got room for Babel. Got Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which was fine, and the sequel because a friend bought it for me, A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle, which turned out to be more Christian than I thought it would be, and Every Day by David Levithan, which was surprisingly a really good masterclass in characterization. I feel like maybe the box sets will have to go on top of the books. Ugh, that's annoying. Oh yeah, the complete Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. The Other Side of Beautiful, I got a free audiobook for it, so I was thinking about reading it for a long time. I'm not convinced. We've got the Three Lies of Locke Lamora. I'm not sure if the books after this are ever going to be released in my lifetime, but we always have hope. I've got Atonement by Ian McEwan. It was a course book, and it made me mad. Do I want to hang on to it? You know, it's kind of that same impulse as hunters who, you know, stuff and mount the deers that they've hunted down and shot. It's kind of that sort of compulsion, so I'm gonna keep this as testament to my suffering. I also have Cloud Atlas and the Bone Clocks. I picked up the Bone Clocks first because look at that cover. It's gorgeous. And then I found out that it was the same guy who did Cloud Atlas, and I know it has a movie, and it was directed by the Wachowskis, and The Matrix is my favorite movie, so it's kind of like the chain of logic is there. But I've been putting off reading it for yonks. It's dust. I feel like the Cloud Atlas is common enough, so maybe I'll donate this so that I just have this on the shelf, and then if I like it, I'll hunt this down. That feels good. Making progress. We've got the Throne of Glass series here. We've got Akatar. These aren't going anywhere. Got Big Little Lies and Nine Perfect Strangers. Australian author Leanne Moriarty. Both of the TV adaptations, though, I think they've been Americanized, so that's a shame. But Big Little Lies was, you guessed it, it's a university book. But I was so surprised at how much I enjoyed this, so I picked this up, and this was good too, so I gotta find another Leanne Moriarty book. Oh, I have space to put it up. Yeah. I have some Haruki Murakami books. I have mixed feelings. On one hand, it's a classic. On the other hand, I don't love the way he writes women, and I feel like he's going to be on a third strike you're out rule, so I'll give him one more shot. But if I don't like it, I only really enjoyed Kafka on the Shore because it was wild, but Norwegian Wood I just really didn't enjoy. Madeline Miller, Song of Achilles, Circe. Circe was a course book. Both of these, fantastic. I found the entire Anne of Green Gables series, which I feel so lucky to have found, and secondhand. The Lunar Chronicles, my original young adult series, First Love. It's science fiction retellings of classic fairy tales, and I have been irrevocably changed. We've got Beloved by Toni Morrison, course book. We've got The Night Circus and The Starless Sea. I've read The Night Circus. It was a beautiful aesthetic experience. I've heard the criticisms from my boyfriend that nothing happens. I disagree. And then Starless Sea. And once again, look at the beautiful cover. Still have to read that. Little Fires Everywhere. It was fine. Kind of wanted to hang on to it, but I can donate that. Time Traveler's Wife. Such a good book. Weird. Don't get me wrong, it's weird, but it's good. Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. I wish I liked this more than I did. I'll still give it a go though. It was the winner of the Women's Fiction Prize, so it's like having it on my shelf does represent having taste, but I didn't really like it, so does it really? I do like expanding on Shakespeare's origin story, so hold on to it. Yeah. 1984 and Animal Farm. I will be reading 1984 next month. The Heartstopper graphic novels. I know that the sixth one and the final one is coming out in the future, near future-ish. No confirmed date. I don't know if I'm compelled to keep them because they're not really rereadable for me. So maybe I'll borrow it from the library one day. But I'm sure another library will appreciate this as a donation. I also have like the some of the novels that accompany this like little Osmond universe. Making a brave choice. I'm gonna donate the whole thing. Yeah, that feels right. Ruth Ozeki. started my journey with her with A Tale for the time being as a course book, and she has become just one of my favorite authors, and I found all of these matching covers together secondhand. Stoked with that. Tom Lake by Anne Patchett. That was my first Anne Patchett novel. I remember liking it. I remember it being very timely. I'll hold on to it for now, I think. I'll give Anne Patchett another go and see if I want to add her to my catalogue. The Bell Jar. Once again, I wish I liked it more than I did. However, it is classic. Actually, I will say this about The Bell Jar. It reads surprisingly modern. I mean, this girl is on an influencer trip at the beginning of the novel. So that was kind of cool to read. I've got the portable Edgar Allan Poe. Definitely a course book. And you can't find, they changed the Penguin Classics designs. They used to have like that orange font and like the little bit of cursive E sort of script, but no, they've changed it and I hate it. So I have to hunt down the originals to match all the rest of mine now. So more of a treasure hunt for me, I guess. Daisy Jones and the Six, Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I would love to read another book by her. I'm just hunting for it on used bookshelves. And recently I picked up Interview with the Vampire because I feel like it will be good research for the project that I'm writing. Contest by Matthew Riley. I started reading Matthew Riley to impress my crush because he recommended the books. And honestly, I read so much Matthew Riley and it really influenced my writing style. Just really fun. I think Hunger Games with aliens. We've got The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart, which was turned into a series adaptation a couple years ago. And then Seven Skins of Esther Wilding, which I have not read, but like, I trust this author now. I trust her. Of course, we have Sally Rooney. We have Normal People, which I have read, and Conversations with Friends, which I have not read. These are the Rainbow Rowell books. So we have Fangirl, which was definitely formative to my character in my early university years, followed by the Carry On series, which is the Harry Potter fan fiction that the main character in this book was writing. So it's got a bit of a meta moment there, and I would even argue that maybe the fan fiction is even better than Harry Potter. We'll see. I'm still looking for the third book in the series though. We have Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, which was super popular, but it seems to have really died down. I think it was just a duology. Do I want to dedicate time to this though? I think while I'm in the middle of so many series, we'll just donate this. Books are always there. I can always find them later if I want to. I have The Satanic Verses by Salman Rushdie. I love this cover. We need to talk about Kevin. It was a course book, and I'm not gonna lie, it did influence my feelings about having children. I'm really glad I found this cover too. The other ones are just movie covers. And again by Lionel Shriver, we have The Mandibles, The Family, 2029 to 2047, which I think would be really fun to read in the year 2049. So I'm literally I am hanging on to this book for another 4 years before I read it. And it was another course book from a course that I did not take. Flawless by Elsie Silver. Everyone seems so happy about it. I just want to know. I think this will be an August book that will pair nicely with going to the Akka. So, I don't know, country. Seems to be a theme. Honeybee by Craig Silvey, which is a LGBTQIA plus story. And Craig Silvey is like one of those Australian authors that just school and university courses love him. Autumn by Ali Smith. I wasn't impressed by it, but I do want to find out what the other 3 seasons are like. So I'll hold on to it for now. We've got the first 3 volumes of Lore Olympus. See, these graphic novels I do reread because they're just stunningly beautiful and the story is so compelling. This is the story of Hades and Persephone, but also covers a lot of the myths surrounding the other gods as well. And yeah, it's just so well done, and I need to collect the other volumes. Now this I'm really proud of. I've been collecting the original vintage Terry Pratchett novels, the small print, with the original art style. Like that's the really funky fantasy illustration style. And I just think like you can't get books that look like this anymore. So I think that's really cool. All of the movies. I have watched the movies. I have not read the books. That is a project I would like to start in the future. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Such a good book. You need to read it. Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. Lord of the Rings, From the Hobbit to the Silmarillion. I have not read the Silmarillion yet. It is like a textbook. I've got The Inland Sea by Madeline Watts. A couple of Oscar Wildes, The Picture of Dorian Gray and The Importance of Being Earnest. This one was a course book. Virginia Woolf, To the Lighthouse, love her. And then we have the Dictionary of Lost Words as well as the Bookbinder of Jericho. Have read, have not read. I think I can fit some of these down here. We've got some Connie Willis books. The first of which I read was The Bellwether, which was a course book, but I liked it enough to pick up the Doomsday book and To Say Nothing of the Dog. I have not read To Say Nothing of the Dog yet, but it's like, it's the Oxford Time Travel series, if that gives you any clue as to what it's like. Got Tara June Winch, The Yield, and Swallow the Air. I went to an author talk and signing with her only recently, which is why I have this book. Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson. Very curious to see what her other writing is like. The Natural Way of Things by Charlotte Wood. A book that I'm scared to read, A Little Life by Hanyayana Gihara, which is bound to be just feelings. Of course I have Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. I'm not reading Onyx Storm until it comes out in the B print. You know the drill. Then we just have a bunch of Shakespeare's. Frankenstein. Jekyll and Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. Did you know he also wrote Treasure Island? That's wild. Dracula. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Dark Academia, it's like the baseline. It is the Dark Academia book. Barracuda by Christos Choklis. Siokas. I didn't like it. It was good, but I didn't like it. And The Martian and Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. These are so good. I cannot wait for the movie adaptation of Project Hail Mary to come out. That looks so good. Lastly, we have Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. So good. And The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak, which made me cry. So those are all the fiction shelves. Don't think I have time to do the third bookshelf. I know, it sucks. But I'll come back later tonight and attempt to finish this. Okay, see ya. And it's the night time.
Strength keeps you going, but courage lets you guard down. Strength keeps you going, but courage lets you guard.
So I was going to finish my video, but instead I get to have a lovely romantic candlelit evening at home because someone hit a power pole outside my apartment. It looks like a scary movie. Good night.